Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Awakening Her podcast. How are you doing today, my friend? My name is Talia Joy, and we are doing something a little bit different. I don't know if I've ever done a two-parter. I don't know if I've ever done an episode or broken something down into more than one part. I'm not sure. But anyway, we are doing something fun, and I wanted to bring this to the podcast. I've actually been wanting to do it for a long time because it's a really important conversation. So we're starting the two-part series with this episode called The Dark Side of the Light Chasers. And then the next episode is going to be the light side of the light chasers. So this is again, a really important topic for us to think about because I know that you are here and you're meant for big things. You are driven toward evolving, making an impact, transforming, overcoming things, moving into more health, more abundance, more purpose, more meaning, a more vibrant life. And so in that calling that comes deep from your soul, because you're either an old soul or a starseed or whatever has led you here, you are driven AF, you've got your eyes on the light. And because of that, there's a darkness or a dark side of it. The way that there's a dark side of the moon, it's a shadow part of being somebody who is driven. And it's not only, to get to this place, it probably means that you've been through a lot. You've probably been through a lot of darkness. It's not so much about that. It's about the underbelly of being driven, the ego in a different suit. Sometimes, these patterns that we can fall into by wanting greatness for ourselves. And it can show up as self-sabotage, procrastination, being hard on ourselves, critical, whatever it is. We'll talk about it all in this episode. But that's really what I want to bring to you today, because in order to truly step into the light, and as we become, into a new year, at the time of recording this, we're toward the end of 2025. And as we step into our next chapter and maybe into our next calendar year, we really want to be aware of the light and dark so we can fully move into that light. So I feel like that's all I'm going to say in this episode, but we're going to talk about the dark side of that. And then, as I said in the next episode, we're going to talk about the light side of being a light chaser and how powerful and magnetic it is and how to really make the most of your light. So that's what we're getting into. I'm so excited for you to be here in this conversation. And I think the only other thing I want to say is, with Christmas coming, the holidays coming, I have a few ideas for you. I've got a couple books in my Amazon store that every year I hear people gifted them to their friends that they love. One is Manifest This Shit, which is like an adult coloring book, we'll say, with all sorts of fun things, different activities and daily practices that you can do to move yourself forward, as well as I have the book Both Sides, which is about doing one page per day that will move you forward, that will put your energy in the right place. And so Both Sides is there. That's one page per day as a ritual that you do for yourself to move yourself forward. It's so powerful and beautiful. And the last one is the bedtime ritual. So this is one prompt per night before bed, and there's room to write it inside. So if any of these books, any of these companions in your self-growth journey, if they resonate with you and you want to give one to a friend, you can check the link below. Maybe it's a Christmas gift or a holiday gift for yourself. And I'll give you the link below to my Amazon store, which my brand new book will be there soon. But for now, we have these books that would make an amazing gift, an amazing stocking stuffer. So think about it. Books with meaning for people that are self-growth junkies walking this path as well. And other than that, if you want to check out my new app, if you have not already, meditations, journal prompts, mini articles, resources to press play and really integrate into your life. There are sleep tracks, walking meditations, lots of them that are under 10 minutes. We've got articles, as I said, journal prompts, different ways to bring the work into your life, including even embodiment, some exercise ones where we're combining nervous system work with physical activity. So many beautiful things you can press play. So you can try the app for 5 days free if you want to give it a shot. After that, it's $11.11 per month, $11.11. And of course, you can cancel at any time. All right, so let's just dive into this episode. Part 1, the dark side of the light chasers. Take a sip of water, drop your shoulders. Let's do this. Okay, so if you're someone who is here for big things, as I touched on in the intro, if you're here, which you are, let's just be real, you're probably going to resonate with this. Do you feel like you're chasing the light? Do you feel like you are growing? evolving, always expanding. Maybe you've always been someone for self-growth, or you want a better tomorrow for yourself. You want more alignment. You want more purpose, more clarity, more magic. So we're in this existence, right? I know personally, I've been into self-growth since I was like a teenager, reading Wayne Dyer books, going to counseling and therapy, even as a kid and a teenager, to understand myself more. I've always been like this. So whether you're like that, or in recent years, you've become a self-growth junkie, there is such beauty in that. And we're going to dive into that more in part 2. But the fact that you are here like that, not everybody has that drive. Not everybody has that vision of what they want for themselves, for the difference they want to make in the world, in their community, in their family, whatever it is. Not everybody has that. So we're going to, again, dive into that in part 2 about how beautiful and magical that is. But on the other side of it, it's really easy to slip into the trap where healing and self-growth becomes your full-time job. Even if it's just your goals and that, like, gotta do more, gotta, make moves, do big things, whatever it is for you, it's easy to slip into that, in which we start seeing ourselves and our growth as an ongoing project, or we never quite feel like we're fully moving ahead, but we've got lots of goals, lots of ambitions, lots of ideas, lots of desires. But that hustle mentality, or the endless fixation on an end result, can make us feel like we're never really done. It can create so much energy and kind of turns into pressure that we do sabotage, or we do avoid, or we do. So it's almost like when we hit the gas too hard all the time, constantly, we're going to start burning out. And things are going to start coming up that it almost becomes like we're hitting the brake and the gas at the same time, because we are, backing up, or we're numbing ourselves, or we're starting to get anxious, or we're procrastinating, or we're just on to the next thing, never feeling like we're moving forward. So there are these quote unquote darker parts of being somebody who is focused on the light, who is here to make a difference, who is here to transform themselves in this lifetime. And this is what's important to talk about, because as we fall into the traps, I'm going to talk about that as we go on, the different traps that we can fall into. Those things distract us from our light for so long that we go, for me anyway, I'll just talk for myself. I go so far in a direction of like, I got to heal this, I got to unblock and what's going on. And oh my God, that I actually forget to just keep moving forward in my goals and what I do want. So one of the traps can be seeing ourselves as like, we got to heal more. We have to get to the root of what's going on, or just like, I got to stop procrastinating. Why the heck do I do that? And being hard on ourselves. So we feel like we always kind of need to be doing more or doing better. So that feeling it can result in us feeling like what we are doing is never fully landing in our life. We're working on ourselves, but underneath there's this unspoken belief of where I am right now is not enough. I need to become more XYZ, right? So it is a fine line. And I have these conversations all the time with clients, and I love it, where they'll pick my brain and they're like, okay, so we're not here for the end result, but we have goals. Who I am isn't enough right now is not a great belief, but I do want to evolve. Like, I do want to get healthier. I do want to be more focused. So where is that fine line? And that's what we're diving into in this whole series, this whole episode. So when we kind of fall into who I am is not enough, it's a belief that quietly drains us. And this can come up as, oh, I'm this age, I should be farther ahead by now. Or why aren't I disciplined like that person? Why aren't I doing the things? Oh, that person has their business up and going, or that person has found love, and I haven't figured it out yet. These things come up around money and ambition and drive, and when people are doing things that you wish you were doing, and all of this, and it continues to fuel, I am not there yet. And this is a dark side of being a light chaser. And the wild thing is it's the ego in a different suit. If you've been around my community for a while, I've talked about, and I used to talk about years ago, the ego in the highest self suit. But really what this is it's the ego showing up in a suit. I'm going to call it a spiritual hoodie because that's me. And it's very clever. So your ego doesn't always show up just as self-sabotage or just as a negative thought. It gets clever. It throws on its spiritual hoodie and it will whisper, you should be farther ahead. You should be healed. And even like, no, these dreams, they're big, they're good, go do it, right? Or you're doing it wrong, you're doing it slow, you're not aligned enough, you're not high vibe enough, you haven't made enough steps forward this year, this month, this week. So it sounds like you're making progress. It sounds like it's a voice that's almost like a coach or like, get out there, do it, right? But meanwhile, it's actually reinforcing the story that you're behind or you're not, it's like, I'm behind, I'm broken, I don't have the motivation, they're doing it and I'm not. It makes us separate from what we want. So when I say dark side, it's not like evil, it's sneaky. But it is our darkness. It is the part that doesn't feel good enough. It is the part that shames ourselves or feels like we should be farther ahead and all this stuff, right? So there is this pressure. The ego comes in a highest self suit or in a spiritual hoodie saying you're meant for so much more. That's not the soul. And I want to say the soul can definitely whisper you're meant for big things. But when we have a voice that says like, oh, I'm meant for more than this. I know I'm here for big things. Why aren't I doing it? That is never your highest self. That is the ego in a hoodie trying to disguise as like a coach to move you forward, but it's not. It's not helping you. It's sneaky. It's condescending a little bit. It's a little bit shame-ridden, right? So yes, we can be driven. We can feel like, oh my gosh, by my next birthday, I want to be here. Or in the next year, I want to achieve this. Or, I have such a deep desire that like I want it. I want it yesterday. That's okay. But when it starts whispering, you should have done that already. You're still dealing with this. You're not doing that. That's the stuff we have to learn to manage, kick to the curb, alchemize, whatever we want. So there is a pressure often, and for some of you, this next part will resonate more than for others, but there's often a pressure to be like spiritually perfect or vibe perfect or functional, high functioning, right? So a weird pressure in the personal growth space to be perfect, to be grounded, to be grateful, be intuitive, always be manifesting, stay calm, just release, just relax, just move forward, take a step, but don't take too many steps. Don't be in hustle. Don't get triggered. Don't get overwhelmed. Like, can you feel me? And if you feel anything outside of grounded and grateful and intuitive, then we think we're messing it up. We think we've lost our alignment. There's something wrong with us. We're not connected anymore. And that is where light chasers start hustling. And a lot of my clients that come to me are in this space where they want something better for themselves. They have a business goal. They have a something going on, and they really are trying to be high vibe and do the rituals, but they feel like it's not enough. They feel like they're missing something. They're not aligned enough. It must not be right. I know for me forever, if something didn't work right away, I would go like, oh, it must not be right for me. Because if it worked, it would just click, click, clickety, clickety, click, right? And any of you, let's apply it to business, any of you that are business coaches or have any sort of expertise in the back end of creating success and businesses and all that, it's not just like, if it's aligned, doodle-doodle-doo, like it'll work. Like, no, there's actual strategy that goes into things. And when someone doesn't see your thing or buy your thing or, join your thing, it actually doesn't mean anything about you. Business and all that is a whole other beast. But what I wanted to say is it's not that you're wrong. It's not that there's something wrong with you or you've lost alignment. And when we start hustling, it's actually a feeling, some of you, this will resonate a lot, where we think we're hustling for money or success, but it's actually for worthiness. We want someone to tell us or show us like we're here, we've arrived. Give us that validation. So for some of us, we're trying to become this higher version of ourselves, almost to validate, to feel worthy. And that worthy full version of you that is capable of all this stuff and the higher self and the versions of you you're stepping into, that already exists within you. And you don't have to be perfect. So in the her work, as we've talked about, if you've been around here for a while, I would talk about and sometimes blow people's brain a little bit open where I'd say her, that version of you that is, in that next level, that is doing the daily practices and that is like feeling more aligned, that next level version of you is not perfect. They have Mondays, they get hangry, sometimes people let them down, sometimes the bus is late, they put out a thing that people don't buy, their kids are screaming and they're overwhelmed. Like, it's real life. Being perfect doesn't exist. You are in a living, breathing experience of life. So to expect yourself to be always grounded, always grateful, always intuitive, always manifesting, always calm, always releasing, always chill, never triggered, like, how is that even reality? It's just not. It's like expecting you to be able to throw a rock in the ocean, but don't get it wet. It's like, no, I'm sorry. You're a multidimensional human. So this pressure to be in the light, this pressure to chase the light, this pressure to manifest can feel like I'm not doing it enough. Whereas we're kind of losing the plot in that way, because as soon as we start feeling like we're not doing enough and we're not grateful enough, we're not grounded enough, oh my God, I reacted today, we're losing the light. Do you know what I mean? So we really want to become more of a light chaser, meaning joy chaser, meaning chaser, purpose chaser, evolution chaser. I'm not even saying chaser like you need to chase, because I could go all into that, but just playing on the title here, where we seek joy, we seek presence, we seek meaning, we seek alignment. And when we feel triggered, overwhelmed, not intuitive, when we feel ungrounded, we can then come back to like giving ourselves grace and saying, what do I need to do today? Maybe I should go for a walk. What do I need? Does my body need rest? Am I feeling like I just need to do yoga? Get out there. Like, we access it from a different place. We get to the light still, but it's not through hustle and thinking we should be perfect. It's through authenticity and seeking alignment, right? Alignment and refinement. I've been saying that. So the next thing I want to touch on, which can also be a dark side of being a light chaser, is the loop of almost there. So never quite there. It's always around the bend. It's never quite arriving. This is a loop. This gets pulled into what I'm talking about: trying, pushing, fixing, doing more, learning more, healing more, almost there, just around the bend. And I'm just seeing intuitively like a carrot on the end of the stick or something sticking out from like your head that you're trying to chase. And if it's always around the bend, then it will be always around the bend, which is not arriving. It's not landing. So I see this in so many of my clients and the powerful people that come to me or reach out through the podcast who are truly here for big things. If you know that, if you have dreams on your heart, if you've seen it in your mind's eye, living in freedom, living in purpose, probably expression, probably making an impact on the world, that is what you're truly meant for. And getting into the loop of trying, pushing, fixing, like, what's the answer? Why am I broken? What's blocking me? It's not a flaw. It's not a bad thing. It's because you genuinely care about being your best. You want this for yourself. You've seen these visions and you know it in a place you can't even quite point to, but you might point to your heart or your gut or your mind's eye. You know you're here for these things, and it means so much to you that there does become a fire of like wanting to push, wanting to do it, wanting to hustle, and that's good. We can hold the light with the dark and extract what is needed from it, because that grit, that genuine caring about doing your best, about making an impact, about like really wanting to inspire people or transform your life, that is beautiful. So we meet in the middle, because the truth is you can't quote unquote fix yourself into your higher self. You can't fix your way into it. You can't shame your way into it, and you can't even just unblock, like always focusing on blocks. What's my money block? What's my love block? What's my this block? You can't, that's not the same route that takes you to the place you're going. You become that version of you by stopping the constant trying, the constant, what's wrong with me? What's the next step? What do I do? And this doesn't mean we can't have coaches, mentors. Like, I literally work with people. They're like, Talia, I'd like your help. I'm moving from this to this. Obviously, we can seek growth. We can seek evolution, but you cannot fix yourself into your highest self. The most powerful people, or the place where I see the biggest shift with clients when we're like midway through working together or when everything really shifts, is when they realize that they're already enough, that they can actually take their quote unquote flaws, quote unquote triggers, take their wounds, they can take their lack thoughts, and you can still strut into your future. You can have a low self-esteem thought and still move forward. You can have a day where you just Netflix all day and don't move forward in your business, move forward in your blah, 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 and still be moving forward. You're allowed to take days off. You're allowed to be hangry. You're allowed to have low energy days. It doesn't mean you're off course. You cannot fix yourself into your highest self. You become that version of you. So this is the shift. This is where we shift from chasing the light to remembering your light, nurturing your light. Okay? So instead of chasing the light like it's outside of yourself, asking yourself, what do I need to do to feel inspired, to turn on my light? So instead of it being like, oh, I should start a business and oh, I should post more on Instagram, it'll be like, I want to get out in nature more. I want to do that cleanse that made me feel amazing. I want to start walking daily. When I do Kundalini or when I meditate or when I do EFT, oh my gosh, I feel amazing. I am light. So how do I build myself up from the inside? Looking after myself, getting adequate rest, hydration, looking after yourself to allow your inner light to be there instead of chasing it because it's already there. Michelangelo's David. David was within the granite or whatever it was. And he said, I didn't carve anything out. I just chipped away what wasn't meant to be to allow David to reveal himself. We don't chase the light. We chisel away and remember we are already the light. So it moves from chasing the light to remembering you're the light. It moves from working on yourself to growing, from self-love, from self-respect, from like, I am here for big things, so I'm going to go out, I'm going to get help, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to figure this out because I love myself and my dreams are worth it. Instead of coming to a mentor, a course, a something going like, fix me, tell me what's wrong. And I've done that. I've hired mentors to be like, oh my God, fix me. And I've had mentors where I go, I am doing it either way. I am meant for big things. I am on my path. This thing feels crunchy or I'm not quite sure. And I would really value your input, your expertise to move me through this time. That's how I hire someone now. Whether it's business or emotional or a coach or a mentor, whatever. It's like, I'm doing the damn thing. I am meant for big things. I am on my way and I value input rather than I have to read this book because it's going to fix me and tell me what's wrong with me or hire this person or take a course or whatever, right? We don't fix our way into our highest self. We remember we already are them. We be it. We nourish ourselves there. So instead of trying to be whole, seeing that you already are in your totality. The yin yang is whole and it's made of light and dark. And we have these sides. So even if you procrastinate, even if you have a habit you want to release, even if you're already whole. We are the light and the dark. And within the dark is a speck of light and within the light is a speck of dark in the yin yang. In the yin yang, sorry, people say yin yang. Anyway, so instead of trying to be whole, we see that we already are. And your next level does not come from pushing harder. It doesn't come from saying you should really do the thing and Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and why aren't you doing it? That's not, that voice can go like, okay, what I say to myself with that voice, I go, okay, I hear you, ego, or I hear you, voice. It's just because I really want this for myself. You're trying to come in and kind of help me like get to excellence, but I actually don't want to shame myself. So the way I'm going to get to excellence is by grounding into this means a lot to me. I am unstoppable. I will make it through this. This is figure outable. So I've got a hiccup. So I've got a foggy patch. So I don't know my exact next steps. I'm doing it anyway. How do I look after myself? How do I nurture myself into inspiration, into that light versus chasing it like somebody has an answer for you as to why you're so messed up so that you can somehow fix it so that you can somehow move forward. It's like taking 10 steps back to say, but I want to go that way. It's like, but you're headed that way. But we don't realize it because it's masked as self-growth. It's masked as the ego in the highest self suit, our inner, not devil in an evil way, but just that inner, sneaky whatever in a spiritual hoodie, being like, you should be there by now, but that's not it, right? So the invitation here, as we start to wrap up this episode, is noticing your patterns of dark within the light, catching the moments where your healing becomes self-criticism, where your quest for new habits becomes shame and, oh, I did this again, and why do I do that, and shoulds, and moving out of that. And anytime you start to go like, what's the answer? Why am I doing this? Why am I blah, blah? Just try to pause that and take a deep breath, go out into nature, take a hot, cold shower, drink some water, something, switch it up, and just pivot into like, what can I do to look after myself today? And I know it feels like, well, then I'm not addressing the habit. It will come. You don't have to fix anything today. You don't need another breakthrough from somebody else. You don't need somebody to give you the journal prompt. I mean, unless, of course, you're using the app. No, I'm just kidding. But you don't need someone to give you a journal prompt or a ritual that's going to fix everything. There's not one wound to uncover that's going to free you. You already have it within you. You're already making that shift. So I want you to become aware of yourself, as I said, when, my best life turns into self-criticism. If someone doesn't buy my thing, I used to go like, oh, what's the point? Nobody wants what I have to offer. Like, oh, nobody cares or something. And now I go like, okay, CEO hat, it is what it is. So that thing didn't work. Was it the sales page? Was it that thing wasn't aligned? Was it the price point? Was it I didn't really try to advertise? Like, I'm just not going to shame myself. And I'm only saying that from a place of a life of shame. And you guys that have listened, you know my past with my body and self-image and self-esteem and feeling like the left-handed weirdo, extra sensitive, curly-haired freak in the corner, like feeling like I didn't belong and all this stuff. But now I say that to myself all the time. I'm not going to shame myself. If I said today I'm going to work out and then I don't, I actually more give myself a hug and go like, what came up? Was I tired? Was it just classic like procrastination? Either way, I'm giving myself a hug. I'm not shaming myself. I'm taking notes and I'm moving forward into tomorrow. That's it. I'm doing it. So you are already farther ahead than you think. You're not a beginner. You're already more magical and have moved through more things than you think. Think of the last year. Think of the last 2 years. Most likely there are deep things you've moved through. Even if you go, yeah, but I still want to make more money or I still want to get healthier. I still want to, yeah, we always have things, but you are already there. What if you knew that? What if you nurtured yourself mentally, physically, and your dreams into success? Nurture your dreams into success. Take small steps forward instead of sitting in the goo and feeling like I'm not there and then reaching endlessly like what's the next step or what's the next webinar I can take or what's the next thing instead of good old-fashioned building yourself up from the inside. Self-respect, self-honor, being excited, getting inspired, getting into a higher energy instead of digging in the dirt of what's wrong with you. Go and have a workout. Join a women's group or a men's group or a, not if you aren't a man, anyway. Go walk your dog, snuggle a puppy, volunteer, get out of your head, reassess, and come back because you are not as far behind as you think you are. You are not broken. You are not weak. I don't care what you say or if you go, yeah, but Talia, I have this. No, you've been through so much. You are scrappy. You are driven. You are meant for this. So try not to fall into the dark side of the light chasers, where your dreams feel just out of reach, where you continually have to heal and uncover in order to move forward. What if you could move forward now with your wounds? Bring all your baggage, bring all your tendencies, put them in a beautiful suitcase, pick them up and move forward with me. Because I don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. We are good people with good intentions that want to make an impact in the world, and that's enough. It's time you know that. So in the next episode, we are going to talk about the light side of the light chasers. And we're talking about what you are meant for, that drive, those dreams within, the gifts you have, the empathy you have, the light side of who you are and truly what you are stepping into. This also starts to carve the path forward of moving into the light as we see this. So this is where ease comes in, more alignment, trust, receiving, but also the light side of you. The gifts, the humor, the impact you're here to make, the stars behind your eyes, who you truly are, the light part of being a light chaser. So I truly hope that this resonated with you. And if you're listening to this and you're going like, oh my gosh, that's me, and you do value that feedback, that reflection, I've right now got my clarity and momentum sessions that I've just opened up a few spots for. So this is a pack of 2 sessions together to really move you forward, to have that reflection, to, have you and help you become super clear on your next move. And I am going to be honest, you don't need this. You don't need, which I know is the worst way to sell something, but it's not to sell something. It's for those people who value that feedback and reflection and are like me with their hand up going like, I'm doing the thing anyway. And I value having people come in and help me along on my path. But all you need to do, if that doesn't resonate or that's not what you need to just build yourself up from the inside. Move toward what your soul wants. Not what your ego is trying to get you to fix, or suspend the desire to come up with the 3-point plan in the next week or day or by yesterday. And move into more of, I already am that. What do I do from here? I am meant for big things. I am here to create a life of impact and magic and freedom and health and purpose. It's happening now. And really knowing that and knowing you don't have to fix yourself anymore. You are becoming. And as things come up, when things come up, you will use your tools. You will continue to move forward because yes, things continue to come up, but you don't need to fix yourself. You don't need to hunt. You don't need to find the next thing of why you're wrong or bad or behind. We are moving into the light, rising into the light side. So honoring the part of you that is ready to stop chasing, that is ready to stop or release any tendrils, strands, chunks, anything that is left of self-shame, being really hard on yourself, having huge dreams, but feeling like you're not moving ahead enough, and then being hard on yourself. That is a classic old soul light chaser type dynamic. And I get into it too. This is why I speak to it, because I know it well. I've walked the path. I continue to use these tools for myself because I've tried to fix myself my whole life and figure out what was wrong so that I could step into the light. But I realized it's actually much easier to just focus on that light and use our tools and be self-compassionate and move forward in that direction. So I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much for listening. I cannot wait for part 2. And I want to ask you a favor before you go. Whatever app you're on your podcast app, would you please leave me a review or a star or a thumbs up or something? It goes so far. Like, you've no idea how taking just a couple minutes, it's the thing you can do that supports the show and supports my business the most. So come over on Instagram, leave comments, let me know how this resonated with you, send me a message, and I would so appreciate leaving a review on whatever app you're on. I love Spotify. I've realized there's comments now on Spotify. Well, it's not now, but I'm new to realizing that. So leaving a comment, all this stuff helps more than you know, and I appreciate it so much. So yes, and also the links to everything that I spoke about are below. The books for meaningful holiday ideas, the app, the clarity and momentum sessions, and then of course Instagram and the wait list for the retreat if you want to be in the loop to meet me in person. All of that and more is below, and I hope you have a fantastic day. I will see you in part 2. Namaste.